taken me 6 years and a few months now to get to this point, and hopefully it flies well when we get done someday.
Good. And Will, this particular aircraft, I should say the scheme of this particular aircraft has a special meaning to you. This is not a model, this is not an aircraft that you just decided to model. There's a special meaning behind this aircraft, and guys, this is a story that you gotta listen to. Would you mind telling us the story involved with this aircraft?
Yes, this particular aircraft, the tail number and the squadron designation, this is the aircraft that my father flew in World War II. And as part of his missions, he was flying what they called Fly the Hump, which was from India to China. And in one of the missions they flew, they lost an engine, which ultimately lost the aircraft, which meant they all had to bail out. And the story goes, and it's in Skyways magazine from 1944, is it took them 29 days of roaming through the jungle with some headhunter tribes and other tribesmen out there guiding them out, but it took 29 days for the crew to get back together and to get to safety and get back to a base finally and stuff. My mother thought back in 1944 that she was going to be a widow when they got notified that my father was missing in action over in somewhere between China and India. But as luck would have it, they did get out after 29 days and stuff. So that's the inspiration behind this plane. My father was a bombardier navigator on this particular plane, and that's where it is. You know, the storyboard, if you want to come down and take a look at it, has the story about them being missing in action. It has some photos of my father and the crew when the plane was just assigned to them in Salina, Kansas, and then they were on their way over to Asia to ultimately bomb Japan.
So this is the story of a real American patriot. This is a war hero who was on his mission and spent 29 days in the jungle, guys, after his after he had to leave his aircraft. Will you talk to us a little bit about the model itself? You told us earlier that you spent 6 years putting it together. Tell us a little bit more about its construction, what you power it with, and when you plan to fly it.
Okay, well, this came in a box about, as anybody that's built one of these type of things knows, about 5 feet long and a foot square, and it was just a box of sticks in balsa. And I had the plans, and I just started at different parts and tried to teach myself as I was going, and had some club members help me from time to time with advice. But I learned how to build an airplane the hard way and stuff. I started with the tail surfaces, and then I went from there. I went to the inner wings, and the last thing I built was the fuselage, which is everything's done with either light ply and balsa, and the fuselage, even though it's nice and round and it's built with long strips of balsa that were a 1/4 inch wide. So you can imagine how many I had to glue on in order to get the final shape. But it was a long, hard process trying to figure out the plans and what was wrong with the plans in some places and what had to be fixed and adjusted and everything. But we finally got here. Power. The power on it, it's electric power. They're all rimfire 80s. And hopefully, you know, from getting some coaching from fellow club members, that should be enough power to pull this. I was surprised when we balanced it and weighed it a couple months ago that it only weighed 39 pounds. So I think weight-wise, I'm in good shape, and hopefully it flies well.
Wow, and Will, can you remind us again, which club are you affiliated with, and where is that club located?
Okay, I'm a member of FLYRC.org, We're in Southbury, Connecticut. We have a beautiful field on the side of a hill and everything, and hopefully some of you guys come down there sometime and visit us.
Wow. You know, it's always nice to get an opportunity to talk to the pilots up and down the flight line. And Will Casazza, this is just an extraordinary piece of work. It's not only an extraordinary piece of work, it's an extraordinary gesture of love to your dad. And this is clearly best in show quality for the Northern Connecticut Radio Control Club Warbirds over Ellington event. And on behalf of NCRCC, thank you very much and congratulations for an outstanding aircraft. Can we get a round of applause for Will?
All right, Will.
Thank you, Will.
I got one last thing.
Oh,
Yeah, one last thing, if you want to come down and look at it, there's actually 2 crews on this plane. The crew names on the left-hand side of the plane are the actual crew that flew it, and the crew members on the right-hand side of the plane are all the club members that have had some kind of input one way or the other or encouragement along the way, but it's all fellow FLYRC members on the right-hand side. Come down and take a look.
great. Thank you very much, Will. Awesome job.
Woo-hoo!